All right, folks. Buckle up because we're diving into the wild, wacky world of Boston's More Than a Feeling. You know the one, that riff that hits like a caffeine jolt from a 70s vending machine, the chorus that makes you air guitar in traffic even if you're pretending to be too cool for classic rock. Come on, admit it. Whether you're a boomer blasting it on vinyl, a Gen Xer who lost their virginity to it in a wood-paneled basement, or a Zoomer discovering it via some viral TikTok meme, this song sneaks into your soul like a earworm on steroids. But here's the tease. What if I told you this anthem of nostalgic bliss was cooked up by a lone wolf in a basement, fooling the entire music industry into thinking it was a full band's masterpiece? We're talking deception, drama, and enough DIY grit to make your local punk scene jealous. Stick around, because by the end you'll have more than a feeling. You'll have the full freaky facts. Let's rewind to the spark, the big bang of this banger. Picture this. It's the early 70s, and Tom Scholz is not your typical rock god. No leather pants, no groupie entourage, just a brainiac MIT grad, slaving away as a product engineer at Polaroid. You know, the folks who gave us those instant cameras that captured all our awkward family vacations. By day, Tom's designing gadgets. By night, he's hunkered in his Watertown, Massachusetts basement, tinkering with tape machines like a mad scientist crossed with a heartbroken poet. Inspiration strikes from the unlikeliest place, a crush on his older cousin, Marianne. Yeah, you heard that right. Family reunions just got awkward. But it's not some creepy ballad. It's this wistful escape, channeling the ache of lost love through music that blasts you back to better days. Scholz draws from Walk Away Renee by the Left Banker, that 60s gem with its heart-tugging melody, and starts layering guitars like he's building a sonic skyscraper. He plays nearly everything himself: guitars, bass, keyboards, even programming drums on his homemade setup. It's like if MacGyver decided to make a hit record instead of defusing bombs. And get this, it took him 5-6 years of obsessive tweaking. 5 years. That's longer than most marriages in rock and roll. Imagine pouring your soul into a song while your day job involves fixing film processors. Talk about polar opposites. Scholz was developing photos by day and developing riffs by night. Pun intended, because why not? If you're not punning in a rock history vid, are you even trying? But here's a quirky trivia nugget. Scholz wasn't just winging it. He invented his own gear, like the Rockman amp, which later became a secret weapon for bands like Def Leppard and ZZ Top. Without Tom's basement wizardry, the 80s might have sounded a lot less shiny. And what if he never quit his day job? Picture an alternate universe where More Than a Feeling is just the hold music for Polaroid customer service. Your call is important to us. I closed my eyes and she slipped away. Yeah, that would have been a corporate co-opting nightmare. Moving on to the album and release Shenanigans. Oh boy, this is where the plot thickens like overcooked Boston clam chowder. By 1975, Scholz has demos that could melt faces, but labels are slamming doors faster than you can say arena rock. Enter John Boylan, a producer who hears the magic and convinces Epic Records to take a chance. But here's the sneaky part. To sell the illusion of a band, Scholz recruits singer Brad Delp, drummer Sib Hashian, guitarist Barry Goudreau, and bassist Fran Sheehan. Except plot twist, the album's mostly Tom's solo basement tracks, with a few overdubs in a real studio to polish it up. They even fibbed to the label, claiming it was all homemade to keep that raw vibe. Fooled 'em! When the self-titled Boston album drops in August 1976, followed by the single in September, it's like unleashing a rock and roll Frankenstein. The release? Pure chaos. Radio stations eat it up, but critics are divided. Some hail it as the future of rock, others sniff at the corporate rock polish. Meanwhile, the band hits the road, and suddenly Tom's the reluctant frontman, trading his lab coat for stage lights. Fun fact, the album sells like hotcakes, becoming the best-selling debut for a decade until Whitney Houston swoops in. 17 million copies. That's more units than most hair metal bands could tease their perms with. And speaking of hair metal excess, Imagine if Poison or Motley Crue tried this basement solo act. They'd probably end up with a reality show called More Than a Hairspray. But Boston kept it classy, or at least as classy as 70s rock gets. Now the rise to mythic status, controversies, culture clashes, and enough ripple effects to tsunami Gen X. First off, the song skyrockets to number 5 on Billboard, but fame brings the weirdos. Enter the backmasking myths, those paranoid 80s panics where folks played records backward hunting for satanic messages. More Than a Feeling got dragged into it, with conspiracy nuts claiming reversed lyrics whispered devilish secrets. Spoiler, it's Bunk. Play it backward, and you get something like Nitsud Gnilif Anaterom, which sounds more like a Swedish furniture assembly guide than a call to the dark side. Debunked faster than you can say Stairway to Heaven lawsuit, but hey, it added to the mystique, right? Rock's full of these urban legends like hidden messages in album art, Boston's spaceship cover. Just cool sci-fi, not alien propaganda. Then there's the real drama, political co-opting. In 2008, Republican Mike Huckabee blasts the song at rallies, strumming air guitar like he's the boss of Boston. But Tom Scholz, a die-hard liberal and Obama fan, fires off a cease and desist, saying it caused him damage. Ouch! Imagine your feel-good hit becoming campaign fodder. More than a feeling indeed, more like more than a lawsuit waiting to happen. And culturally? This track defined AOR, album-oriented rock, paving the way for epic anthems that filled stadiums. For Gen X, it was the soundtrack to Rebellion Leet, blasting it in your Camaro while dreaming of escaping suburbia. It rippled into everything from power ballads to grunge backlashes. Speaking of grunge, obscure trivia alert. While Riot Grrrl exploded in the 90s with raw feminist fury, think bikini kill-scrolling graffiti in Olympia, Boston's polished perfection was the antithesis, the corporate gloss that punks rebelled against. But ironically, Scholz's DIY ethic, pure punk precursor. What if Kurt Cobain covered it? Smells like More Than a Feeling. Nah, that'd be too weird even for this vid. Satirical swipe time. Hair metal took Boston's big hooks and amped them with spandex and Aquanet excess, turning arenas into ego parades. Boston. They kept it grounded, or at least basement level. And corporate co-opting? The song's been in ads for everything from cars to cruises. Talk about selling out the feeling. But respect to Scholz's genius. He fought lawsuits with CBS over delays on the second album, winning big. Man's a fighter, not just a finger tapper. Diving into legacy and lasting weirdness, this song's immortal, folks. Covers galore. Nirvana famously riffed on it in Smells Like Teen Spirit, flipping the script from sunny nostalgia to angsty apocalypse. Gen X ate it up, using Boston as therapy sessions in mosh pits disguised as concerts. Ripple effects? It influenced everyone from Foo Fighters to modern pop rock. Obscure tidbit, Brad Delp's soaring vocals. He was a Beatles fanatic, layering harmonies like a one-man choir. Tragically, Delp passed in 2007, but his voice lives on, eternal as that riff. And what if Boston never happened? Gen X might have lacked that perfect road trip anthem, stuck with disco or worse. Shudder. Weirdness persists. The songs in movies like Close Encounters, wait, no, that's the band name vibe. But think The Sopranos, Madagascar, even Guitar Hero. It's ubiquitous, like that one uncle who shows up at every family event with the same story. But here's a self-roasting aside. As your grunge punk narrator, I gotta admit, sometimes I crank it up while pretending to hate on classic rock. Hypocrite? More like human. And for absurd what if Scholz applied his engineering to punk? Riot Grrrl graffiti on circuit boards? Smash the patriarchy and the amp. All right, wrapping this rock odyssey. More Than a Feeling isn't just a song. It's a time machine, a mood lifter, a testament to one guy's basement dreams exploding into cultural confetti. Tom Scholz proved you don't need a band to build an empire, just grit, genius, and a killer hook. If this vid gave you more than a chuckle, smash that like button, subscribe for more irreverent rock riffs, and drop a comment. What's your wildest more than a feeling memory? Did it soundtrack your first kiss or your worst breakup? Until next time, keep the music cranked because life's too short for silence. Rock on!